Hey, it's DBJ, and on this episode of the best player characters play weak. And this is going to be advice for advanced players, and I hope I don't lose anyone with this. I've been trying to give advice to, I hope this is not going over the heads of those of you that are beginning players. But what I mean by the best players play weak, what I mean is that of all the best attributes and statistics and techniques and personality traits of all the player characters that you play at the table, you want to put just as much energy into playing your character when they are at their weakest state. And what I mean is, I don't just mean they have an 8 charisma, so I'm just going to act like an a-hole. Or they have an 8 wisdom, so I'm just going to play gullible. What I mean is that when your character gets hurt, when your character has failed a role, when your character is in a situation that, according to those circumstances, he's just, at his weakest state, role play that out. And I'm going to give you a true story. It's a real true story. And the reason why I say it is because I was an a-hole during this time. But anyway, I had a character. His name was Zahn. And he was if I can remember, a changeling beguiler. He was like a half doppelganger. And I think a beguiler was kind of a combination of like a thief and an illusionist or whatever. So anyway, he had like alter self or something. He could shape change into any other humanoid and look like somebody else. And I made this guy, and he was min-maxed to death. He could just had all the character interaction skills maxed out and stuff. I don't know, maybe it was like 4th level or 5th level or something. But anyway, the point was that that I was the face of the group. Like, this is how it was going to be. So the game starts out with all the player characters. We were in jail for various reasons, and all the other player characters were good. So now my character, I think, was lawful evil. So I changed my motivation that I was a spy that worked for the king, and I was like a CIA agent. Like, I was doing evil things for the good of the nation. And it allowed my character to fit into the group because there were like a paladin in the group and a couple of other people that were like neutral good and whatnot. They didn't like my tactics, but we were all working for the same goal. So we get arrested, and the game master had this guy who was a hard ass. He's like, hey, I've got dirt on all of you. If you don't go on this mission, I will either hurt your loved ones or blackmail you or something like that. And he had different things on different people. And here I go, I'm like, this is the start of the game. So the game master is basically like, okay, here's the first 5 minutes, here's the setup, here's the mission, let's go. And like most immature players, it's like when somebody tells you to do something, you just don't want to do it. Especially when they're like threatening you. You're just like, what? F you, man. I ain't doing that. So here I go. I grab the dice. I'm just like, man, I'm not doing this and whatever. And my character was like, there was just no way I was going to miss any of these roles. But one part of me noticed the game master. He was just really getting annoyed. Like, let's just get the game started. This is just the motivation to get started. We're not even at the front door yet. So, grab the dice, I make the rolls, pretty high rolls. I say, well, what the hell happens? Game Master says, basically ignores the dice and says, the guy pulls a knife out and rams it straight through the back of your hand right into the table. Bam! So I'm like, oh my God. And because I've run so many games, and I could tell that the tension level was getting high, and the other players were kind of looking at me because I was an advanced player. And I said, you know what, I got to turn the tables on this. And this was kind of like my apology to the game master, and I let it go. So of course the game master's ready, like, okay, everybody roll initiative. And he looks at me, he's like, okay, what did you get for initiative? And I'm like, initiative? would I roll initiative to pee my pants? I said the only thing I'm trying to figure out is how the hell to get this knife out of my hand. So I'm describing how like my character's like trying to shift through different shapes because he's panicked. But I mean, he wasn't really a fighter type, so I was just like, I want to grab the knife, but I don't, and I'm in pain and I'm in shock and stuff. And he's just like, oh, okay. The other players are like, oh, well, what should we do? And what should she do? And I'm just sitting here like, don't touch it, don't, ah! And I'm screaming, I'm yelling and stuff, and the you know, the guy's making his threats and everything, and both my motivation to get the game started and my willingness to apologize for being an a-hole, and my reaction to the game master that no matter how good I thought my character was, this NPC, by stabbing my character's hand, apparently is that much better than me. I just accepted it as fact. The game master said it happened, I just accepted it. Like, okay, you know what, dude? You're right. I thought I was hot shit, but hey, you know what? This NPC apparently is that much better than me. And I let it roll. And from that game on, we went on a mission, and my character had a tick from that point on. No matter what shape or person he intimidated, whenever he was about to lie, he'd always rub his hand because he had this scar in his hand. And the Game Master really enjoyed that because it was just funny, because it was like one of these things where the NPC ends up showing up again, and he sees the scar on the guy's hand and recognizes him for who he is. And I just was able to have so much more fun with that, because by allowing something to happen, the Game Master did not roll any dice. He didn't roll for damage. We didn't roll to see what my limitation was, or my damage modifiers, or anything, like nothing at all. I played it weak. I played it like I was just a punk ass at that point. Like, dude, you shoved a knife through my hand. A normal human being doesn't count how many hit points they have left. They're just like, holy shit, what the hell? And because it came out of left field, and my character thought he was all that, well, apparently he wasn't. And it gave me allowed me to express to the other players at the table and the Game Master that my character had another dimension to him, and allowed me to create a new element to my character. So now, in the course of play, now my character has a scar on his hand that itches whenever he gets ready to lie. And sure, it's a tell, like a gambling tell, but it's a cool character quirk that doesn't really have to affect the game, but allowed me to explore and develop and have a great character by playing my weaknesses. So I feel like I know I've kind of rambled with this one, but play weak. You know, if the Game Master says you took a lot of hit points, you know, tell him that you dropped your sword. Tell him that, you know, you're hanging by your fingertips and your pack falls into the water or something like that. Let him know that you fell off your horse from blood loss. Accept it. Make that part and parcel of your character. The Game Master does not have to remind you of your weaknesses. You are part of the game as a player. And as a player, it is imperative that you reestablish the mood and the theme of the game. And if that means that you have to take a backseat to what you want and make it what really is and what is going on, if your characters have run out of food, yes, your characters are starving, and yes, maybe that means your strengths and constitutions go down. Tell the Game Master, you know what, I bet my strength's probably going down now. I'm a big burly guy and I haven't had anything to eat in a long time. Yeah, I'm probably feeling pretty weak right about now. Say that. You're gonna, if you do that, you're gonna give the Game Master so much fuel for greater games. Now, yeah, sure, there's some a-hole Game Masters out there that'll just go, oh, you're playing weak, I'll just take advantage of it. But, you know, that's a different subject. As a player, you need to be true to yourself and to the situation at hand. And if that means that you have to play weak, do it. Believe me, it's much more rewarding. I've got another story about playing weak, and I'll share it later on. But I think I want to end the video right here. I'm heading past 10 minutes, so thanks guys for listening. Hope I wasn't too rambly. As always, be creative, not destructive. DBJ out.